it seems like there's a little bit of confusion out there, especially with a stock that went so much down.
We are in front of the spaceship that went to the edge of space today.
It's obviously the first commercial flight. That's a big deal for the company.
Virgin wants to start regular commercial flights in a new era of space tourism.
It was really the best ride ever.
I'm still up there.
Without a doubt, the most exciting day of my life.
Virgin Galactic plans to pause spaceflight operations.
Next year, they're focused on its next generation of space travel.
Virgin Galactic stock surges nearly 20% after announcing plan for cost saving.
Virgin Galactic is going into survival mode.
For me as a long-term investor, I don't even care, and I will tell you exactly why.
3, 2, 1, release.
Welcome to a brand new Virgin Galactic Fridays vlog. Yeah, I know. Long time no see, but there was a couple of reasons for that. But first of all, I would love to dive in directly after the last Q3 earnings report, really to update you all what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what is written out there, what is going on with the company, what is going on with the stock, everything. Huge update. Smash the like button for me being back, and I will do this also a little bit more often, I hope. Let's dive in. So first of all, we will talk about the whole situation with space. So we will talk about the company, what happened with the stock. Then we will dive in my stock position as well as the overall long-term investing thesis, right? Because it seems like there's a little bit of confusion out there, especially with a stock that went so much down. Lastly, I would love to dive into the future and the risk of Virgin Galactic. What can go wrong? What need to go right? Before we dive in any of those three topics today, I would love to also explain you why I was so long not here on YouTube. It's like primary two things. I live in Dubai. In the summers, I'm leaving for Europe and I'm having a great time and I enjoy with family, friends, holidays, you know, because Dubai is very hot in the summer. So, and on the other side, which is more importantly, that I am having my X10 day trading group, which is extremely successful because I believe that in the next couple of years, you can make a lot of money with day trading during this bear market and inflation and high rates environment. And then you can put it all into very high profile companies that you can then hold for the next 10 years and be super rich. The sense of the group was always like, I have professional traders that post into the group, like what they buy, you know, when they sell, so you can copy it. But now, over the last couple of months, we developed a software which we call AutoPilot, which the name says everything is done for you. So essentially, you just have to switch on the software and then you can copy all the trades that we are doing during the day, you know, sometimes 3-4 trades. Some trades can go, you know, 30% plus, you know, 100% plus, you know, so we trade S&P 500 options, so it's a very, very interesting thing that you don't have to do that, but you just switch on our software and all the trades are being copied. So if this is interesting for you, check out the link into the description and schedule a call with my team. And if you have 10,000 or more to invest right now, US dollars, then this might be for you to make money with us with a click of a button. Now let's talk about space. It changed over the last couple of months. For a very long time, we had very cheap money. And this cheap money resulted into very sky-high valuations. Not only that, but it also resulted in high-risk assets getting some of this money and being way overvaluated. And I'm not talking about growth stocks only like space, but I also talk about NFTs, altcoins. So all of these things are actually got huge price premiums. This was essentially the reason why in 2020, when the Fed was pumping money into the market, everything went up.
And we do that by buying treasury bills or bonds
or other government guaranteed securities, and that actually increases the money supply. We also print actual currency, and we distribute that through the Federal Reserve banks.
That's why in a bear market around 2022, Bitcoin lost half of the valuation. Tesla lost a lot of valuation. Also, Virgin Galactic. As a company, they did everything what they said they would. They raised money to stay alive, and then they finished the maintenance period. They flew now over the last 6 months every month at least one time. They showed us that they can have a proper operation. And now the things totally changed. We had also high inflation. We had high risk because of the rates increase of the Fed, which means that QE, on top of that, removed a lot of capital from the markets. And therefore also risk assets like Virgin Galactic went from 60 was the highest, which was absolutely, also results and the crazy market environment, to let's say 30, which was company issues or delays, and then plus the macro environment change. And now we have the macro environment change completely, and the stock is at $1.70 maybe as of this watching. So I think that this is very important to see that it's not anymore a company question. Obviously, they need to deliver and they need to build their Delta aircrafts and continue those flights and get more customers and all of that. But for now, it's important to see, will the macroeconomy recover? Will the rates go down? Will the overall money flowing more into the market, will there be QT? So those are the questions much more important for Virgin Galactic right now than what they do with the company. Because I can also imagine a company, Virgin Galactic, having delays again and having still a $6 stock price because the macroeconomy is just recovered. And therefore also money comes into the risk on assets, right? Because those will benefit the most. High risk, high reward. You can see there's two ways of looking at this. In 2021-22, when the stock was at 25, the risk was medium. Now the risk is high because, maybe they go bankrupt, right? Because they cannot raise money anymore. And then you had very low risk because there's so much money coming into the market that the stock most probably go up with everything, which they did, right? So you pay $50 per stock, low risk. You go medium risk, $30 per stock. And then you go high risk, and that's why the stock is only worth $1.7, right? For me as a long-term investor, I don't even care. And I will tell you exactly why. As you know, I'm investing every month. I present this every time I made a video, right? I said I'm a very long-term investor, and long-term investing doesn't mean you take 10,000 that you saved up and you put it within 1, 2, 3 months into a stock. That means that you take, let's say, $10,000 and take $500 and put it in every month because you never can time the market correctly, specifically with those macroeconomics. And that's why you want to have the best average price in the next 3, 5, 6 years you building the position. Looking back, I also invested in Tesla for at least 3 years with all of my life savings and still kept up building this position. Even if COVID wouldn't be there and I would have sold my position, I still would build up to this day. And that's why I also bought at 170, 150, 138. And therefore my average comes down and down and down and down and down. And currently it's a 3.7. And this gives me a great starting base for a rebound. If the rebound will be in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years, I just keep on lowering. And I hope that it stays for the next 2 years still lower, in this area, because they don't need money until they will be cash flow positive, which they showed in the presentation. But it also is important that you just build and build and build the position. And then, at some point, maybe you stop when you are in big profit already. And then you can decide, do I hold? Do I save the profit? Or you just, keep this position for the next 10 years. This is long-term investing. And this is what people don't understand. And that's why there's these articles on Reddit and say oh, Wolf, he averaged out and he had an average price of $6. now it's minus 60% or 70%. Now it's $1.5 and he's just stupid. But no, actually, I'm the smart one because I'm just averaging down. And the person who wrote this actually is very negative because he put everything maybe within 3 months into Virgin Galactic. And now he's sitting on most of it at minus 80%. And that's why you should really stretch this out. And if you believe in it, then just like put a little bit, because if your savings are limited, obviously, and if you make this mistake, then just buy now when the price is low, right? Obviously, this is just a logical point. Like, this can never be financial advice for anyone out there because you cannot follow everyone on YouTube and, consider, what they do, I do as well. You can get like inspiration and then jump in what your financial profile allows you to, right? So I think that this is something that is a little bit of frustrated for them, for me, right? And I don't even engage in these discussions because like those people that feel to spread this negativity, they have some problems maybe in their life and maybe their family is not great. So, I just try to stay positive and neutral to those. And I just think like, man, like just watch my videos. And I always say that I will, average down. And, at some point I will try to average more down. And when the prices go, I'm very happy because, the company can stay alive for, another decade or two. And there will be financial macroeconomics that will change again. And then at least, if the stock is $10 again, and the company didn't make much more, then still I can sell for 200% profit, right? And the position can be quite huge if you build it up for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, right? So that's the smart move. That's the long-term investor move. And nothing changes, right? Every month I'm seeing like, what can I put into the stock? And I'm just buying more, right? So that's long-term investing. That's my position. And let's dive into the last part of this video. The big points in the earnings was obviously that they cutting costs. I wrote it in my group on Discord that if you are into the X10 trading family, then you will get access to the Discord as well. There's like a Virgin Galactic channel. You can see the most important is here now cost cutting, surviving until they can raise a little bit more money. They have now $1.1 billion. They spend around like 130 per quarter. Let's say they said like the next year will be a little bit less with, costs. That means that let's say even 1.1 because that's easy to calculate. So 1.1 billion, you have $110 million for the costs that you will have in the next couple of quarters. So that means that they have room for at least 10 quarters. So we have 4 quarters per year. That's 2.5 years. And then they had also mentioned in the call that they have like 130 million that they can still drop into the market for market price in terms of, stocks that they hold. I think like they will drop that when the price will be a little bit higher, which makes sense. The risk is really macroeconomics when we will have better rates. So the stock prices go up so they can raise more money for less stocks. The second point, the risk that I'm really seeing is only that maybe the manufacturing process will take a little bit longer because you have seen that in other companies like Tesla, they said like that this is Model 3, but then, it's actually super hard to manufacture that, right? So I think that could be like a friction point, though they have already the experience to, build the spaceships, even though the Delta ships are a little bit different, obviously, and with a new crew and supplier and so on, but they built already the factory, so they're very, very advanced into that. Once they figure out these two things, like what happens with the macroeconomics doesn't change for the next 2 years, any chance to, keep the stock price up so the dilution can be not so huge. And in the end of the day, it will come into the shareholder question. Do we raise a little bit more money or we go bankrupt, right? So this is like, maybe 15% probability and is very far into the future. And on the other side, you will see that you are really looking into the macroeconomics. So the macroeconomics should get better over the next 2 years. And then they will still have enough money to sustain themselves without any raise of capital. And then they can raise capital. And on the other side, like a little bit of risk of the company, but you know, they're flying already. I'm thinking they are cool with the development of the spacecraft. We should be good the next 2-3 years, right? So are you standing on the sidelines and you say like, hey, I'm waiting that the stock goes back to 30 and I can wait 30 years? Or you say, no, I'm a long-term investor. I believe in the company. I will just put every month more. So the average go down. So in 5 years, when the stock is back at 12, you maybe make already a huge profit of 100%. Or you just say, no, this is nothing for me. Space travel takes a little bit longer than I thought. Or maybe you're interested, maybe you're a new investor and think like, is this a good price to enter? Like you should have now all the information to make yourself the best decision. So I wish you the very best weekend that you ever had. If you're interested in day trading with us into the group with 467 members, make sure to check out the link below. Schedule a call if you have the $10,000 and let's freaking go.